Te incomoda? Vai estragar a tua pele. Te incomoda? Eu avisei. Não sei por que fazem cores tão parecidas. 37 tons de vermelho. Eu tenho que decidir entre 37 coisas praticamente iguais. Praticamente iguais. Passou do ponto. Tá estragado.
Kika Nicolela, thank you so much to join us in this another talk included at Loops.Expanded program at National Museum of Contemporary Art in Lisbon.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first I want to talk with you about the film that you were presented at the museum and at this program, at this first edition of Loops.Expanded, that is Actus. It is a very particular film. It's a very interesting film, as many of your global work. But it seems that your first work that I read about it, that you use actors, professional actors. That's right. And what is very interesting to me in this film is that you don't use the loop as a filmic technique, but you use the loop as a performance device to deconstruct the role of the actor, of the representing a scene. And to me, it's very interesting because it's the performance and the word performance and the act of the performance. It's very important in great part of your work. And in this film, you seem that you make this transition using the loop from the representing some scenes, a scene, to perform it, and the actors are in the middle of a transition between representing something and at the end they are performing. Do you agree with this?
You said it so well that I don't even know. I don't have anything to say. It's really exactly that. It's really, that was a bit the game. I had, I come from a film background, so I studied cinema, and I had worked with actors, but more in this zone of the university films, etc. And then I was assistant director in feature films. So I was quite, and then I studied directing actors at UCLA, specifically that. And it was somehow funny that I dropped everything else to stop working with actors because of my experience with documentaries. It made me really push another with dancers. So I had two areas to explore somehow that it was very exciting for me. I was kind of discovering all that. And so when I decided that it was time to go back to work with actors, because I'm very fascinated by the act of performing, the act of representing, and this and I'm always very interested by how an actor invests himself in a role, but he's bringing himself also, the person that he or she is, you know, on top of whatever they're gonna construct. And somehow I wanted to do a project in which we could be able to see that happening, you know.
Okay.
The choices that they make, and which are you know, they are invisible in the cinema, you know. When you see a film, you see the choice that they made, and it's completely transparent, you know. And you know, we don't see the choices, you don't see the construction, you see this character which is just there, you know. And so I thought a way of breaking that through the loop. Exactly what you said. And I was interested also in what happens to us as an audience when we are looking at it. And we start to have these noises of, you know, in our immersion of the film.
A little bit of nonsense, you know, that because you don't realize also because you are keeping as the film as passing by, you realize that you are approaching another completely version of the representing a scene. It's like making a really hard construction of everything, and you don't know where you can believe it is in the scene, in the actors, in the all the performance. So it is a very disturbing piece in the sense that you lose your references when you see a scene performing like that. You know, this is like a kind of also a background of theater in this film. You know, the stage, the way that you stage all the scene. To me, it's very near also of the theater more than from at the film. So this kind of approach with reality and fiction is also more complex and more interesting about that. But the concept also of this work, Actus, is in your work very present with this importance that you give to the performance. It seems to me that in the last two works that you have done, the performance is very present. It's very strong, and you are exploring a very wide range of possibilities of the performance in your work. You work also a lot with gender and cultural identities. Seems to me that one of the most strong themes of your work is perhaps the gender and cultural identities. You are searching for this, what is the cultural identity, who are you, who are the people that you confront with. And especially the issues considering the woman representation. At the moment, we have many works also that you work with this theme, but at the moment, how do you see your work in a time where the reivindications of the feminist movements are so wide, so strong, so reinvented? Did you see a place of your work in this, inside of these movements, or of these new discourses about the female representation?
Well, I know that it's when I made The Chicken and Her, Elle et la Poule. It was end of 2016 actually that we shot. And so when I released the movie, and also a sister movie, which is Cake d'Amour, which is Love Cake, they were both made in the same residency with the same group of theatrical group from Quebec, from Montreal, and they are incredibly talented. And it's a group that it's called Bye Bye Princesse. So it's really focused on deconstructing, the archetype of the princess, especially, and deconstructing the image of the woman as we see the stereotypes. And so it was a very nice encounter, me with this group at the time that was just before the Me Too movement. So when I released the movie, those two movies, they were kind of dragged into this movement somehow. So they were shown a lot, especially The Chicken and Her. It was super, let's say in the good moment, released in a good moment, but it was really not in purpose. And I think I've been always felt as a woman, personally in my life, I felt always like I never really fit in all the stereotypes around me. So it was very my search for the breaking of these stereotypes, and my search for new types of representation of the female body and the female, of the woman. It comes from a very personal place, let's say, and it's been always there. And also there's an interest to communicate and give like space to invisible communities. So bring visibility to and space to some, and connect with some communities. But that's been always there. And I think right now, especially with our political context in Brazil, especially Brazil, it feels like it's more urgent than ever. And a film like Tropic of Capricorn, which I know I shot in 2004, it felt very important at the time. But it's crazy, like right now it's urgent.
Now it's another perspective. That's why I want to talk with you.
It's like, okay, we thought everything was solved, and we were just like, it was more like a personal exercise. And right now I feel like, no, I have to be more strong about it, because it's not a battle that we won at all, and we are going backwards. So
you keep. I want to talk that you talk about the Tropic of Capricorn, because it seems to me that was an amazing film that now it can be reading in a as you say, in a new and fresh perspective, and a very important perspective. But you keep very, very attached to everything that happens in Brazil, of course, and you are accompanying the cultural scene, the artistic scene, and you are keeping having contacts there and working with Brazilian artists.
Yeah, I just came back from Brazil like 2 weeks ago. I try to go 2 or 3 times a year, of course, because of of this crisis. I was, and also before I was pregnant, I had a baby in March. So it was my biggest gap without going to Brazil was now like 1 year and 2 months. It was really a lot. But normally I go every 4 or 5 months, and I work a lot there. And yes, and I just come back, and I did work with, I did a small residency there, kind of self-organized, because of, nothing is really happening. So we had to self-organize, and I tell you, it was an amazing experience, because it was a collaboration with 2 performers, and a light creator and a sound creator, and me and my husband, who is also an artist working with video, but with interactivity as well. So he was more like working interactivity. And we got together, and it was this explosion of happiness of being able to do
together,
something.
and producing
and to
things
meet
and
people and
creating things.
do stuff, and it was really amazing. And one of the performers is a non-binary person.
Okay.
No, non-binary. Sorry, not binary. Binary.
Binary.
And it was very, very nice to work with.
Can you talk us a little more about the Tropic of Capricorn? Just explain in few words what is the point of the film, of the video, and because it's about 4 trans women that are they are trans, and you are invited them to make the film. So this is a proposal to be in this hotel room and talk about their lives, about their expectations, and their quotidian. Can you talk a little bit about, because the film is very before this crazy of the technological voyeurism that you are all involved. But there are many frontiers in this film between the erotic and pornographic, between the moral and the immoral, between the very, very strong issues about the gender and definition of gender. So can you talk a little more about this important film that I think that now is a new perspective also, as you say?
It's tough because I can talk for hours about this movie.
Yes, I know.
I really love it. And
just for the people that don't know very well your work, and I think that to get a more better panorama of your kind of work.
So it's well, I begin from the beginning. It was an invitation to do my first big exhibition, let's say. It was a group exhibition, but it was a very interesting one. And we were supposed to occupy a hotel bedroom of this hotel in downtown São Paulo that was closing down. And this hotel was located in this area of prostitution of transsexuals. So I thought it would be very interesting to not to come to my hotel bedroom and put a work, but really to use the bedroom also as a connection with the area where it is, and to bring very fast. I understood I wanted to work with them, because I was going, doing meetings in this hotel and passing by all these transsexuals in the streets, which it was very, it is fascinating somehow. You are kind of, it's a body that is very interesting because you cannot define it, and it's everything, and it's over sexualized, and it's a lot of stuff that was really interesting. And so but I thought I was coming from a feature film documentary experience where I thought, okay, I don't want to be with them in the same room. I don't want to ask questions, because whenever you ask a question, no matter how much research you do or whatever, it's gonna come charged with your own view, and with the person that you are. And I realized that in an interview, it's a dialogue. So the person is always responding to you. It's to what they think you want to hear, or if they want to enter in a conflict with you, or they want to agree with you, or they want to please you. And I wanted to, delete all of that from the equation, because I thought I just want them to be, and to be for a long time. And to do whatever they want to do. So that's how I came with this kind of strategy or device to just, invite them to be in this bedroom, which actually is part of what they do. You know, they go to the hotels. Even in that hotel, one of them had done already. And so to be in this situation, which is kind of normal for them in a way, but with a strange proposition. Well, they are also used to strange propositions. So in a way, the way they reacted to me was like I was another fetishist. Somehow it didn't matter. I explained I was an artist. I explained that what it was, that it's an exhibition, etc. For them it was like I'm, you know, please pee on my face kind of proposal. You know? Oh, interesting. Okay, so this so they start performing.
They start performing,
and it's part of who they are, or you know, their job, let's say. And so that was, and I realized maybe making it, that was also what really interested me, that they were performing in their everyday lives all the time. And so that, again, like I said, performance becomes something that I'm interested in. But I don't know how much I was really conscious at the time. There's some certain things I was, what I just told you, I was very conscious. That was what really pushed me to do that, because at the time, like you said, we were not used to be content creators. We're not used to be in front of a computer or, you know, or iPhone or iPad, whatever, and do a, you know, a blah, 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 which anyway, even when we do today, we are kind of controlling our own image, you know, a lot. And there they were not. And I mean, I told them, okay, there's a camera on the ceiling, have the bed, please don't leave the bed and stay here for 40 minutes. That was this strat, you know, the proposal, the rules of the game, let's say. And I made it very simple, and I told them, you can speak or not speak, you can do whatever you want. And then I left the bedroom. I'll be in the corridor waiting. And they mostly respected, although the first one, she actually left the bed at some point because I heard the TV, and I was like, okay, she's not on the bed. So I went back and she was watching TV. So I said, no,
okay,
please go back and lie down and do whatever you want, but don't leave the bed. Because for me, it was, the time was very important, that they took the time to be in a situation,
to have comfortable with the situation, and then talk,
or more comfortable with the situation. Both happened actually. I made with four of them, and two were kind of gradually more getting to them, to who they really are, you know, kind of constructing this performance that they were doing in the beginning. And other two were just getting more and more uncomfortable, let's say. So I thought that was a very interesting sample, because actually, to be honest, that I made that in one night, and it was supposed to be a test to see what would happen. But when I saw the material, I was so in awe of what I had, you know, that was another thing that really taught me a lot, because I realized I don't want to shoot stuff that I planned, you know, in my head. I don't want anymore to make a script and go and do my script, because then I would never have this feeling of surprise or amazement.
And you are pushed for understanding an universe that perhaps it's very difficult to understand, and very difficult to put in your lives, the kind of lives that these four women transmit to us.
And there's these inversions that they created that for me was very interesting. You know, the blue one, when she asked the camera, I would love to know what you are thinking about me. Would I understand you? Do you think I'm a monster? Do you think, you know, so like for me it's like a Vito Conte performance, you know, she's really like inverting, manipulating
all the rules of the game.
And suddenly we feel like I've seen this movie in festivals, you know, like with a crowd, and it's so interesting this moment because you feel everybody
Okay,
getting tense.
what's happening here?
Oh, she caught me. Yes, I was judging her. Yes, I was thinking this and that. So
I think that the film is also very, all the way that you conceive the rules are very interesting, because this is this giving space to this for women to transmit her life, to transmit her inner, and also to create fantasies, to create perhaps fictions about ourselves. We don't know. But one of the most important thinkers about gender in these days, Paul B. Preciado, says that this is in this in between that perhaps you can get the strength for a revolution against the hetero and normative capitalism and so on. So it seems to me that this film in particular is very important now, also to understand new languages and new approach to the gender, and realize that gender is not only about sex. It's a more profound and a more complex issue in these days. So thank you for the film.
Oh, thank you.
This film is also in the way of other works that you have done, like Crossing, Wind Waver, and Entretemps. That you say that in some way they are anthropological, and I will say, perhaps, if you agree, and psychological scopes about the human relationships. And there you put also, you say that perhaps you use a process of the psychodrama. You in an interview you talk about that. This psychodrama did you realize, or is something that happens, or did you realize that the kind of performance in this particular movies, it is about the female body and the performance of a solo of a woman in several conditions, in several environments. Do you think that this relationship between you as an observer, as an anthropological artist that observe the others, observe the relationships, and this psychodrama, what are the connection, what are the way that you process this kind of work?
I'd love to see this interview. I have no idea what I said about psychodrama.
You said it too.
Because normally, in Windmaker and Entretemps, those, and even Crossing, they were not so much about psychodrama in the sense that, well, at least that's how I see it now. Maybe when I did this other interview, I was saying something that now I'm not remembering. But they are not about the psyche of it's not psychodrama, because it's not about a character who is oh, it's this woman who got lost in a forest and now she's trying to escape. It's not. It's really almost in an archetype. It's really working with images and with archetypes, and in a very broad way somehow, and this flower is symbolic somehow. It's very symbolic. So those experiences, they are more. I'm very interested in observing how the actor, the dancer, it reacts when he or she is put in a certain situation that I propose. So with that actress, it was, really the whole film was born out of, okay, let's go to the forest at night and let's stay the whole night there, and I want, and somehow we all, both of us, we dig deep into ourselves, but without there was not the psychology of the character. There was not that. It was really about images and about, maybe for me, the forest was really the symbol of the inconscient and of the things that we cannot reach and of the things that we are afraid, and that and also of, you know, just the mix of the nature that we cannot control, or that we are afraid of, but it's inside us, etc. So it was really something, and almost I cannot grasp what it is about. It's almost escaping me, and I really liked about those experiences, because it was somehow for me also, I couldn't put it into words. It's something that I had to make it.
And they are very strong visual and poetic works. And they are, in visual terms, they are very, very strong, very, very oniric in some way, sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's really like, you know, somehow it's not a film poem, but it's like a poem somehow. But I couldn't, you know, discuss it as well as I can discuss about other works like Tropic of Capricorn, that had a very specific proposal and device, because I'm dealing with images, and they speak for themselves, and every time I watched, it brings something different, and so it's for me, they are very different from this kind of more anthropological works that I called, that is really collection of they're collections of people, you know. So I have several works like Tidelands, which is a collection of people, or What Do You Think of Me, which the image is just me, but actually it's many people talking about me, which is another work that I find very, very interesting too.
You put the Finland. This is a residency also, no? In Finland. What do you think about
it? Yeah, it's also it's my first residency. Yeah.
You ask to the people that you meet there that to spoke about what they think about you, and it's very interesting because the stereotype is always present, especially in the men. The men always refer to you as a stereotype of the Brazilian, exotic and very beautiful, and so on. So it's a very, very interesting work also. Yeah.
I suddenly.
You are very young there. No?
I was 30, I think.
Yeah.
I was 30, but maybe I looked younger, I think.
Yeah.
But I was 30, I would say 2000, yeah.
Okay.
But it's crazy. I kind of learned also about how Europeans perceive us, and I really, really didn't know that I was Black, you know, because I cannot say I'm Black. You know, if I say I'm Black, I'm gonna like destroy the whole history of fights of the Blacks in Brazil, which they went through something that I haven't, you know. So I cannot say I am, because it's like
a usurpation of something now.
Yeah, it's like I'm taking something out of their fight, you know. If I say yes, I'm Black, no, I'm not, you know. I have all the how do you say, the luxury of not being, and so I'm a privileged woman in Brazil, and then Europeans say I'm Black, and say, oh, okay. So then it becomes clear how it's so arbitrary.
The identities, constructed.
And you know, and then even my husband, he refers to half Black, you know, whatever, you know, a person who is half Black. It says is métis in French. And I say, you cannot go to Brazil and tell a person who is black,
Yeah.
but not so dark maybe, and say, you are métis, because also you're taking away
Yeah.
a lot of stuff,
A lot of stuff, of
and
course.
their identity,
Yeah.
And so it was very interesting. It's a work that talks a lot about
yeah,
prejudice, identity, and
the construction of the other with some stereotypes very, very strong that still prevail. Just to finish our talk, because it seems to me also very interesting that you participate and you promote, and you are the co-founder of some collective projects with many other artists, with many other collaborations. The Exquisite Corpse video project seems to be very interesting. It's like a cadaver exquis on video, and was a participation with many artists from many countries also. And the ground project is another project, or is the ground project is connected with the Exquisite Corpse, or not? It's two different projects.
There's two different projects,
Okay.
and it's called the Common Ground. And the Common Ground was really kind of born last year as a reaction to the COVID crisis, to the pandemic. Actually, at the time, there was an institution that was interested in me doing. Well, actually, I was doing for them Exquisite Corpse for an institution here in Belgium, and then in the middle of the process, the pandemic started.
Okay.
Really the beginning. So I had a Chinese girl from Taiwan sending a video in January, that was already about that. And then I felt, oh, okay, this, when came March and we started to feel it here, and it was not, something out there in Asia, it was everywhere. Okay, so this, we have to stop the Exquisite Corpse that we were doing, and really think about something for this moment, because I thought, first of all, that was very important to make a kind of a collective portrait of what was happening with people from all over the world, but also a kind of a database, So the idea of database is different from the Exquisite Corpse, because the Exquisite Corpse is really, like you said, a cadaver exquis, so it's really linking one person to the other in a sequence, and which in the end creates a kind of very strange narrative, because it goes from one to the next, and you don't, sometimes the limit between one actor and one artist and the next is blurred somehow, because they kind of really integrate well what
the idea of the cadaver exquis.
And I really, it's really fun. It began like a game almost, and then with seeing the results, and the people who were participating wanted to also to exhibit. So it began. It was like a kind of a snowball falling, a mountain, because it begins like with not a lot of how to say, ambition, and then it became a big stuff that I've been doing since 2008. So there's something there, and we've shown everywhere, and it's a fun project, and I think it was born out of this feeling of wanting to connect people, and in a time before Facebook. So that was even more like, if it was this feeling that was also very urgent. And so it was.
The Common Ground is happening now.
It's happening. I have to say that I invited the first batch of artists, and they did. So we have 50 artists who responded to my invitation, and that was it was very personal. I didn't do an open call. It was really, I invited some people, and and the idea was to end in December, but since the pandemic continues and somehow evolves in us, you know, our feelings are different now than it was, you know, 10 months ago. And so I want to continue, but it's just that I'm so busy. but the idea is right now, like these coming weeks, to kind of re-invite some other people and to look.
And do you have a platform that you can see the films, you can see the project, or the idea is to present them in the museums, galleries, or
yeah? So I've shown it in a festival in Russia. I showed it in the Biennale of Image and Sound of Argentina, which was online last year. But it's also some of the works. I started a Facebook page, and so on the Facebook page you can see a lot of the stuff. So it's just Common Ground project, and that's
it's ongoing.
And it's ongoing, and the idea is to grow, and there's some interest also in Brazil, to another institution in Brazil to host it.
Very well. Thank you so much, Kika, for this nice talk. And
thank you, Emilia.
Thank you.
Have the name of my mother.
Okay, thank you.
And yeah, it was nice to just saw everything. That was that was nice.
Yes.
I sent you a lot of stuff.
No, but it was great. I enjoyed very much to see your work in a different approach. Also, it's very interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you. And keep safe. Okay.
Thank you too.
Bye bye.
I hope the museum will open soon.
I hope so. I hope that you got to get your normal lives again.
Okay.
Okay.
Good luck. Bye.
Beijinho. Bye bye.
Beijo, tchau.